I'm starting the rumor today.
It's shocking how many people don't know the comeback. It's like a dog whistle for gay people.
I downloaded it illegally, I think on LimeWire or BearShare, one of those gay club names. I just fell to my knees in like a Loblaws. I am always thinking about Charlize Theron and Monster.
Not since Mozart have we tapped into the human psyche.
I'm one of the girls now.
Let's get Valerie Cherish in Euphoria.
Oh my God. She'd be like, okay, am I one of the teens? I don't endorse it. Gotta get a gay, Mickey.
iHeartRadio Canada presents Bestie Listen.
Well, I got it. You can't use that. I'm a crazy person. Jane?
This is our comeback.
Exactly. And you know what we're talking about today?
The comeback.
Exactly.
Wow.
I think to be gay is to talk about the comeback.
Well, and that's what I'm learning with the comeback returning to TV. I'm talking a lot more than normal about the comeback to people.
Yeah.
And it's shocking how many people don't know the comeback.
I
People.
I don't think straight people can see it.
Yeah.
Like they can't actually see it.
It's like a dog whistle
for
gay people.
And it's weird because it's like, it's not really a queer forward show, but it like...
Yes, it is.
I mean, it is in the sense that it speaks to us about, yes. Well, yes.
Well, yeah.
But it's more that it's like, you know, an actress of a certain age fumbling all the time. And we are just so drawn to that character. You could argue it's like villains. Like we're drawn to villains.
Yeah.
The way we're drawn to like how we are just drawn to Valerie Cherish. Like she is our light.
Yeah, well, I think she represents so much of what gay people are interested in, which is washed up stars.
Legacy.
Legacy stars.
Making sure you look good on camera.
Making sure you look good on camera, making sure you're saying the right thing, presenting well. It's Valerie Cherish is all of us.
She is all of us, and I think like we can't talk about the comeback without talking about our personal experiences with it. And I think when you're in conversation with somebody about the show and they've seen it, usually it's like, how did you watch it and when did you first see it? So I'm going to ask you.
Yeah.
How did you watch it and when did you first see it?
You know what? I actually can't remember specifically when I watched it for the first time. I think it was in the lead up to season 2 airing. Like I was not an OG.
That was the first time you watched it?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was not an OG comeback fan because I was a very casual Friends fan. I watched a lot of Friends, but I wasn't like rabid about it. And I remember hearing Lisa Kudrow is doing a show about a former sitcom actress trying to like get a new start. And I thought, sounds really meta. I don't know if it's for me.
I don't like
it. Also, what is HBO?
This was with the second season?
No, first season.
Oh, I was like...
I remember hearing that it was happening and then the second season was coming up and I was like, oh, that show's still around? Oh, no, it's not. It just got canceled and is being brought back 9 years later. So it's like, okay, I got to check this out. So I think it was around that time and it was immediate. Like I immediately fell in love.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you the same question, but this is the other question that you ask. How many times have you watched it?
Oh God. I have watched it once a year since season 2.
Wow.
Since season 2 came out, I've rewatched it once a year. The first season and the second season. I first watched it, I downloaded it illegally on LimeWire, print it through the camera. I downloaded it illegally, I think on LimeWire or BearShare, one of those gay club names that I remember it was the same kind of story, which was like I was a really big Friends fan. And I was like, well, what are they up to next?
Yeah.
You know, Jennifer Aniston had just done the breakup or Derailed or one of those.
Joey had done Joey.
Joey had done Joey. Matt LeBlanc had done Joey. And I hadn't really kept tabs on it, but I was obsessed with Lisa Kudrow. And then I stumbled upon the comeback. I devoured it on my bed with my legs crossed, like in my laptop, like the Poltergeist, like watching it, absorbing it, obsessed with it. I bought the DVD off Amazon, just the 1 season DVD. And I thought I'd never see it again. And then they did season 2 and I just fell to my knees in like a Loblaws. And I was like, it's happening.
It's such a perfect example of people always talk about sequels that are better than the original.
Yeah.
And that is so season 2.
Yeah.
Like season 2 took something that was great and made it something that was timeless, classic.
Timeless classic. I thought it also just really put the polish on the show. I think season 1 is like the perfect season of TV. Like every time I rewatch it, I am astounded by what I'm watching. And I know that is maybe a little too hyperbolic, but like
I don't think it is.
I actually like in my very frank opinion, I don't think we talk about the show enough.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
And that's my point is that when people come to me and they're like,
They come to
they
you
don't
in the
come
middle
to
of the
me.
street.
I
They
go
say,
to them.
"Sean?"
I go to them.
Sean.
They say, Sean, what is this thing? The comeback.
And you said, "Get away from me, Jordan."
No, but when I go to people and I'm like, you should watch this show, The Comeback, they're like, first of all, I've never heard about it. And then I have to explain the lore of, like it started in 2004, whatever, whenever that was. And then there's the second season. And then now they're coming out with the third season. You have to watch it. But what I tell them is that it is, for me, it's on par with Veep as like the funniest, well-made comedy.
Yeah.
And I think Veep has so many more seasons to work with that it does have its like ups and downs, where The Comeback, particularly seasons 1 and 2, are like perfect television. There's not a bad episode of The Comeback.
There's not a bad episode of The Comeback. I think season 2, you could argue, it takes a second after the premiere. But even that premiere, we got Val in a college student horror movie, which is literally all I want. And I think in the premiere, we get Cherish Your Hair, Valerie Cherish's boxed hairline.
Yeah.
For redheads, which is the best joke. And then Vicky always says, well, we got a garage full of product. we got to sell it. I think it's a perfect show. I don't think we talk about it enough. I think it's like, I could start crying talking about The Comeback. I think it's like, when I think of like my favorite show, I'm deciding right now, I think it's that.
Yeah, fair.
Every year I rewatch it and I look at it and I'm like, not only is this a perfect TV show, there's a perfect performance at the head of it with Lisa Kudrow as Valerie Cherish.
That's really the thing that carries the whole show is the performance by Lisa Kudrow, because Valerie Cherish is one of the most fully realized characters I have ever seen on TV, if not the most fully realized character.
Yeah. I've said this before, not on a camera, but when I see Lisa as Val, I never see Lisa.
Exactly.
Like Valerie Cherish to me is a real person. Like that's a real person.
Yeah. And what's amazing is that come season 3, we have it established that Valerie Cherish and The Comeback exist in the same world as Friends. So that means that canonically, Lisa Kudrow and Valerie Cherish both exist in the world of The Comeback. And quite frankly, in my world too.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Like they are two different, distinct individuals.
No, I think it's so true. Like I don't know. I think there's very few performances that you can say you don't see the actress. And for this, I think,
It's Charlize Theron in Monster.
Yeah.
And Lisa Kudrow in The Comeback.
Sure. That's what I was going to say. And you took it right off. I am always thinking about Charlize Theron in Monster. And comparative to Lisa Kudrow in The Comeback. I just think like it's what you said. It's such a fully realized character. Like to me, she's that redheaded, like 40-something actress that had a half a hit show in the early 90s. There's so much lore to Val that I find so funny, which is like, I'm It ran for 4 seasons. I think 90 episodes. Okay. I don't know what the joke is. But I just find it I find it so funny that she considers Val holds herself on such a platform as if her show ran for 10 seasons. Yeah. And I love that they distance her so much from like Lisa's actual persona. Not that Lisa is like Val at all. But I think there was a catharsis for Lisa coming off of Friends and doing The Comeback over each season to release the sitcom of it all.
Yeah, because they could have very easily made her a Lisa Kudrow-esque character, which is what I thought the first time that I heard the plot. I was like, okay, she's playing herself, basically. That's not the case.
I always thought she was playing Kathy Griffin. And I know that's like
interesting.
Maybe a little bit of lore attached to the show that's not the truth, Ellen. But it's just because like my life at the on the D list was a thing at the time too.
Mm-hmm.
Kathy had come off of Suddenly Susan.
That's
and
good.
they both have red hair.
I've never heard that before.
I'm starting the rumor today. I know Lisa has said it's not that.
Yeah.
Because Lisa and Kathy both were at the Groundlings.
But
at the
also
same time.
Valerie has nothing in common with.
No, like
Kathy.
Kathy was a stand-up and all that kind of stuff.
But it's almost like the equivalent for I'm It is like, I don't know, Caroline in the City.
Totally.
Or like Dharma and Greg.
Suddenly
Dharma and Greg's almost too big.
You're saying like the words that like come to me at night when I close my eyes, like Dharma and Greg, Caroline in the City, Suddenly Susan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. When the show came out, it was kind of on the heels of the boom of reality, and it was talking about, or it was the scripted TV's world response to reality TV, which I remember at the time was very fearful. Everybody was like, is this the end of scripted shows? Are we moving to 400 versions of Jersey Shore? And obviously that wasn't the case. We live in a very comfortable world now, I think, of like, there's so much to watch.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of the comeback's answer to that? Like, it was fighting for scripted TV rights.
It was, and I also feel
reality
like
TV.
It was fighting for kind of reality TV rights a little bit too, because when it came out, yes, it was responding to not so much like the competition reality boom had happened, like the Survivors, the American Idols, like all of those things had happened.
It was
and were actually like on the way down.
Yeah.
They were being replaced with what
Fear
would
Factor.
become sort of like the Kardashian sort of thing, right? Which was the Osbournes, Anna Nicole Smith. Like it was the glimpse inside the reality, or the celebrity's life via reality TV. And I think back to that time and I think what a bold choice, because at that time when those shows were coming out, when the Osbournes was on, it did feel like it was a temporary genre. It didn't feel to me like
didn't know.
the celebrity reality sort of like structure, industrial complex that it would become was going to take off. It felt like a blip on the radar because I was watching like the massive dip in ratings of, say, Survivor at that point.
Yeah.
It's amazing that they sort of like clocked what was happening and were able to capture that in this first season of TV and respond to that moment. And I feel like because of the way things have gone and obviously how Michael Patrick King and Lisa Kudrow, saw the writing on the wall and the way that reality TV and entertainment would evolve, it has, I feel like, become a classic because of that. Where at the time, I don't think it was received all that well because people thought this was kind of like a fad. This version of reality TV was a fad, was a blip on the radar, but the comeback clocked it.
So it came out in 2005, and I think what we need to discuss when we're talking about the legacy of the comeback is it was canceled.
Yeah.
So to your point, it was almost a deterrent to watching the show because it was like, what is this random show with this huge star that was on a show for 10 years and they had a failure? I don't want to see that.
Exactly. But it turns out I did want to see that.
Yeah.
And then it comes back 9 years later. And this is at sort of the height of prestige TV on HBO. Like we're talking Game of Thrones and, it's like in a post-Sopranos world, but prestige was all the rage. And like, how do they do this? Well, they're still doing a reality show, but within the reality show, it gets so meta that within the reality show, they're making a prestige HBO drama about the events of the fictional show being made in season 1 that the comeback, the reality show, was following the development of.
Yeah.
Like it's
crazy.
So meta and it works so
ahead
well.
of its time. Like, for those who don't know, season 2 centers around, as you said, a scripted version of the events of season 1 of the comeback from the writer Paulie's point of view of his relationship with Valerie.
Mm-hmm.
How would you describe Seeing Red besides being a 10-episode dramedy on HBO?
Yeah, well, Seeing Red is, I think it's a lot grittier than anything that Valerie has done. Mm-hmm. I mean, Paulie G is doing heroin and having but in Seeing Red.
As played by Seth Rogen.
In Seeing Red. And it's just like a very gritty, sort of like drug fueled hallucination.
Classic, like what a satire of what an HBO show was at that time.
It's almost borderline. I mean, it predates Euphoria, but it's kind of giving Euphoria.
Totally. Oh my God, yeah. So Euphoria. Sorry. Yeah, that was great.
Let's get Valerie Cherish in Euphoria.
Oh my God. She'd be like, okay, am I one of the teens? I'm one of the new girls now.
Valerie is this actress who's seen as past her prime, who gets new opportunities in both season 1 of The Comeback and in season 2. Who would you compare Valerie to in the real world?
I mean, you can compare her to a lot of actresses. I think most notably it would be someone like a Jessica Lange going on to like American Horror Story, or you could look at it as like Jane Fonda doing Monster-in-Law, like that era where an actress was at a certain point in their career and they had their reintroduction with this mass title that was kind of not something you would often associate them with.
Yeah.
I think for me, I have a really hard time because I just always compare Val to Kathy Griffin. And I think My Life on the D-List is The Comeback. Like, Kathy had fallen off of a sitcom. She was doing stand-up. And then she got a reality show that just followed her every day. But it was at the beginning of reality. So they didn't really know what they were doing. But, I mean, Val is kind of a template for the 40-something actress. Like, whoever it was who joined Dancing with the Stars, right?
Yeah.
A 40-something actress who joined a reality show. Or Lisa Rinna joining Beverly Hills, I think is a great example of that.
I feel like, though, there's something a little bit different, though, with Valerie, where it's like Jessica Lange was, you know, a critically
established,
acclaimed actress.
Val was
Same with, like, I think about Julia Louis-Dreyfus with Veep, but Julia Louis-Dreyfus was critically acclaimed in Seinfeld, of course.
And Old Adventures of New Christine.
And that, too. Yeah, she won the Emmy.
She won an Emmy for that.
And so actually, I was thinking about this and I thought maybe it's Jennifer Coolidge, who was a comedic actor who, like, yes, had hits and was beloved, but so was Valerie, but then goes on The White Lotus. I mean, this is retroactively comparing them, but then goes on The White Lotus and has this prestige moment, wins an Emmy. And I feel like it
was kind of a precursor to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was such a different time because we were coming off like the big boom of the 90s sitcoms into reality. So really there was no one to compare her to. I would say in a lot of ways, Val is one of one. Like there's only one Val to me.
Yeah, there is.
What are your favorite lines?
Well,
we're just making noises, actually.
I think the whole, you gotta get a gay. Gotta get a gay,
Gotta
Mickey.
get a gay, Mickey.
Love that. You go.
I've always loved when she walks down the HBO halls and looks at the posters, and the only shows she knows are Sex and the City and The Sopranos, because that's just so Val.
Yeah.
So she goes to The Sopranos and she goes, started it all. And then she goes to Sex and the City and she goes, I'm one of the girls now. Started it all in a different way.
In a different way.
You know? And then
New girls.
Wow. She goes to True Blood and she goes, you know, I don't know. And then she gets to like Deadwood or like Rome or whatever it is. She goes, okay. And then she gets to New Girls and she goes, New Girls. Leela Durham, one to watch, you know, or whatever she says. It thrills me.
Yeah. I say started it all like daily.
Yeah.
Daily.
To no one picking it up. No.
To no one in particular.
Yeah.
So season 1 was in response to or commenting on the boom of reality TV. Season 2 was in response to prestige dramas on HBO. And then season 3 comes all these years later and it's taking on AI.
Yes.
Wow.
It is. Yeah. It certainly did take on AI. Do you think it did it well?
Yes and no. What's interesting is that seasons 1 and 2 are responding to something that is already happening. And season 3, yes, AI exists. Yes, AI is becoming like a very standard part of a lot of people's lives. But what we haven't seen yet, or at least we're not aware of it, is AI playing a pivotal role in entertainment, which is what the Comeback season 3 is introducing, this concept of Valerie Cherish getting another opportunity at a sitcom, but this one is written by AI.
Yeah.
And I feel like this one, they're coming a little bit ahead of the curve. I'm sure it's going to happen one day, but we have nothing really to compare it to except our own experiences with AI.
Yeah, you're right. I think like maybe that is the harder, spoiler alert, I didn't love season 3, but I think maybe that's what made it so hard, which was like, I agree with everything that it's saying and that it's a warning, but I don't know, what are we comparing it to, right? Because God forbid we get to the first sitcom written by AI.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to see that, quite frankly, number one. Number two, it sometimes felt, where 1 and 2 felt responsive accurately and in real time. Season 3 sometimes felt a little, how do I say this as someone who does not endorse AI? I don't endorse it, to quote Valerie Cherish. It felt a little like old person afraid of technology, which I know is not the case, but I don't know if they were able to like really drive it home. I personally, comparatively, you can look at like The Devil Wears Prada 2, which kind of does the same thing a little bit, which is like, this is happening. It's not good. We need to save what was the standard for so long. Real work is to be rewarded. And I wish the Comeback kind of like put that in bold.
Yeah, I think that season 3 is complicated for me because it's a huge departure from seasons 1 and 2, not just in terms of what it's tackling, but stylistically, because here we have this version of the Comeback. The only way that we have seen Valerie Cherish is through the reality TV camera lens controlled by Jane. But here we have Jane sometimes filming, sometimes we have Patience, who is Valerie's social media assistant.
Which they got that all wrong. As a social media manager, I took offense, but also that's where I felt a little like, what are we doing here? Also, we had like 3 ways into Val from different lenses, none of which made sense to me. Like,
yeah, and then the other was just the standard sort of
the home cameras.
Hollywood filming. Yeah. Oh, and then we had the Nest cameras.
We had the Nest cameras. We then had the return to reality at the end of, I think, episode 2. I think for me, stylistically, there was a big departure, and I don't think it worked at all, quite frankly. I thought, it added dimension to the show and to the character, and Val felt even more real to me. But Val always felt real to me. But the issue with the style change is that the jokes changed. Yeah. It was no longer a comedy. It was now a drama to me, with some comedy in it.
Yeah.
But like, we lost a lot of the humor in the Comeback. And also, the people behind the camera were shown too much. Like, a lot of the jokes from the Comeback was that you never really saw Jane a lot. You heard Jane a lot. And that's what made Jane so funny. And Val talking to Jane is that we never saw that. It's like seeing the monster too much in a horror movie. Like, I never needed to see Jane all that much. Even in season 2, when they go to Jane's house and Val ambushes her.
No, I'm sorry. That is my favorite scene.
It's a great scene.
That is my favorite scene
when
of the
she
Comeback.
Smokes.
How could I forget the quote when she's holding, she comes back to Jane, who produced the Comeback, the reality show with, that is the Comeback. And she's trying to convince her to come back on and film this behind the scenes of her HBO Prestige show. She finds out Jane, in the meantime, has won an Oscar and is using it as a doorstop.
Which is like catnip.
So now
Valerie.
she's holding her Oscar and she's saying, what did you get this for? And Jane tells her, I made a short film about lesbians in World War II.
Right? How sweet.
And she goes, oh, important, because it got you this. Like, that is my favorite.
So
like, for me, I actually was very happy with the amount of Jane that we got in season 3 because I could have a whole show about Jane. Like I could have a whole show about Jane. I want more Jane, quite frankly.
I think we got too much Jane, but I get what you're saying, which is like it was also somebody else for Val to play off of, which I think is the result of the absence of Mickey. So Mickey was often the person who confirmed with the audience, what she said was just wrong.
Yeah.
Or she got that person's name wrong. Or that joke was too far. But we didn't have that, right? We had that other old man.
Yeah, we had a replacement for Mickey. Mickey, who of course was Valerie Cherish's longtime hairstylist, not necessarily out gay, but not hard to clock.
Gotta get me a gay, Mickey. Gotta get me a gay.
And so he did sadly pass away, the actor who played him. And they tried to replace him, I think with varying degrees of success.
Yeah, I think that was another problem I had with season 3, which was like there was a lot of new characters added, which was a little bit of like a sequelitis that was happening with season 3 that I didn't care for. Because at the end of the day, I'm really only looking to watch Val, mostly. But by the end of this season, it kind of won me over.
This is the thing, is that watching season 3 kind of reminded me. It's hard to remember
how you reacted to
seasons 1 and 2. It's so hard to remember how I reacted because I recently rewatched ahead of season 3. I recently rewatched season 1 and 2. I don't watch it every year like you do.
Okay.
I've probably seen it like 5 times.
Yeah.
But I'm a busy person. And so I watched it and I forgot how long it takes to get to the real plot of season 2 and also season 1, right? Like it takes a little while to settle in.
Yeah.
And then once you're there, it takes a while to sort of look around and start to get comfortable. And then by the end, you're like, oh, wait, that's it? Like, give me more.
Yeah.
And so I think that I was feeling that in season 3 as well. And I think that by the end, we did stick the landing.
I think they stuck the landing. I think the episode that won me over, I think, is episode 5 when they have the 2 competing camera crews for the therapy show. And they're in the small room. And there's 2 camera crews in the room at the same time. And Val goes to the other camera crew because they're shooting her from below. She's like, you can't do that. Got to get up. And that to me felt the most like the comeback.
Right.
Also, like the girl who worked at the therapy office trying to hand Valerie a water was like the funniest joke to me. It was like killing me. And then by 6 and 7, I was like, okay, I get it now. It took a second to get there. Also, the episode that was an ode to Mickey, I thought was really beautiful.
Yeah. I feel like there were so many cameos in season 3 because at this point, like even when season 2 came out, it was still like a very cult show that
Totally.
I think I didn't know, and I can't be the only one, didn't really know what it was or why we were doing a season 2 9 years later. But by the time season 3, everyone has now caught up who needs to catch up, and we're all ready for season 3. And of course, every celebrity wants to be a part of this, right? Like everybody is a comeback fan. And so it's chock full of cameos. And my favorite one was Jane Fonda. So Valerie is out at dinner and she runs into Jane Fonda. She introduces herself and she goes, "Do you mind if I get you for my socials? Don't worry, it's not political." And Jane Fonda's like, "Why isn't it political?"
Why not?
Well, where would you start,
Classic Val.
Classic.
And then she turns the camera to Jane and Jane goes, "Vote," or something like that. And Valerie goes, always something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was chock full of cameos, but also with season 2. Like season 2 had Brad Goreski, RuPaul, Andy Cohen. The premiere is Andy Cohen and RuPaul. One of my favorite jokes.
But it's like you just named 3 gay people. Like those are the people that are already in the comeback world.
Well, here's the thing about the comeback. And I think if you have watched this episode long enough, you are someone who watches the show and understands it. It is a show that exists only to the people who have watched it. It doesn't really... They're not interested in what I appreciate of Lisa and Michael Patrick King. They're not really interested in gathering new fans. It is for the fans, and it's not fan service. It's just a show made for the people who love it. Like, I saw Lisa Kudrow do 100 press stops during the promotion of the comeback season 3. And I'm like, who watching The View besides me is watching the comeback?
You'd be surprised.
For sure. Besides like the queer audience watching The View.
Yeah.
But I'm like my mom.
Not The View's target demographic.
No. Like, God love my mom. Or anybody in relation to me who is like straight doesn't know what this show is.
Well, the comeback,
they can't see it.
The comeback is such a great example of like we exist in our own world.
Totally.
Where the comeback is the biggest show, and the comeback returning for a third season is like the biggest moment in Hollywood history. I log on to streaming. It's not even on the main page. Oh. It's not even in the top 10. And I'm like,
I was going to bring that up.
Week to week. And it's like the algorithm isn't even clocking that I want to see the next episode. No. I have to go search for the back. Literally. Like, I'm like, oh, this is such a reminder. Like, I am so gay.
Yeah, I'm so gay, but also like, that's okay. Like, maybe it's made for me. And that's how it felt when I watched season 1, which was like, how does this show exist? Who's this show for?
Yeah.
A show about a washed up actress getting a reality show? To me, that's like, give me 12 seasons. That's all I want to watch.
Fantastic.
That's fantastic. But like, who is this show for? But we need more TV made that way, which is like, for the comeback season 3 to exist now, we're almost making TV. We're making AI TV almost now, which is like, do you love to search on Netflix? Katherine Heigl breakup movie. Here's this movie with Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah.
Or here's this movie with Camila Mendes from Riverdale. Did you love Riverdale and you love rom-coms? Here's this movie.
Yeah.
That's just kind of the streaming slop that like exists now. But like for the comeback to even, I almost admire season 3 for its like gusto and like, we're going to take on AI with sitcoms and it's going to be relevant to like 7 people.
Yeah, and the other thing that I love about the comeback is the world building that it does, where it's like we have this fictional I'm It sitcom from the 90s, then we have the fictional sitcom Room and Board that Valerie is like a guest star basically in her own sitcom.
Now, is it Aunt Sassy or Aunt?
I say Aunt.
Okay. No, it's a line from season 1.
I thought you were asking.
No.
Me. Oh yeah, that is a line from season 1.
She just needed to know, you know.
What would you say? It's Aunt.
Yeah, but I love the idea of Aunt Sassy.
Love Aunt Sassy? Yeah. I could see that for you.
Yeah.
And then we have the fictional Seeing Red. And then here we have, of course, what is the sitcom called in season 3?
How's that?
How could I forget that? And then we have, of course, she's on The Traitors, which is a real show.
I know.
Mrs. Hat. Mrs. Hat is the most, like...
It's my favorite joke from season 3.
It is the richest lore I have ever encountered in a piece of media in my life.
Yeah.
What is Mrs. Hat? Well, we do see a scene of Mrs. Hat, and she is a detective. Valerie Cherish played a detective in between seasons 2 and 3 of the comeback. And it's very like giving Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman in a way. Like it feels like it's that kind of a show.
It's giving Sue Thomas FBI.
Sue Thomas FBI, yes.
It's giving that.
Or what was that show? The Closer?
Yes.
It's giving
Kira
The Closer
Sedgwick.
with Kira Sedgwick.
It's giving something I would watch.
Yeah. Well, she's like clocking that this guy buried his... It's kind of Gone Girl-esque. It's clocking that this guy has buried his girlfriend in the garden because his flowers are sprouting so much better than hers.
That's giving Practical Magic, actually, when they bury the guy.
It's literally that.
Yeah, my favorite thing about the joke is that of Mrs. Hat is that they couldn't watch it because it was on Epic or Epics. And like, you can say that joke to anybody, like a normal person who doesn't watch it, they don't get it. But like, the fact that the comeback is able to skewer the industry in a way that is so smart has just always tickled me and has always made me laugh. Like, Val in season 2, them showing the audition tape for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and her getting it completely wrong, and then her going up to Andy after being like, "I get it now. I got it. I know how to do it." It's just like it's just so Val.
Yeah.
And like one of my favorite things from season 3 is that we did get Valerie on Hot Ones. which is, I want to say I also tweeted that 4 years ago, and I was like, if we ever get a season 3, I need Val on Hot Ones, so you're welcome. But also,
where's your check?
Well, that's what I want. I wanted Valerie on Hot Ones. I wanted, we kind of got it in the beginning, although I didn't love it, but like Valerie doing Chicago, the dumbed down Real Housewives version is my favorite thing. We also got that season 1 deleted scene where Valerie did Dancing with the Stars.
Right.
Yeah. Lisa Renna said I'd have fun. Didn't. It's all I want.
And we got Valerie on The Traitors, which I feel like give us the full scripted season of The Traitors with Valerie Cherish and Trixie Mattel, please. Like, I am begging you. And of course, she got she was banished first. She was a traitor, got banished first because she slipped up immediately.
Yeah. I mean, that's classic Val.
And said, oh, no, of course no, it's okay. I know he's a faithful. How do you know that? Well, stressful.
When talking about Valerie Cherish and our connection to Valerie Cherish, what makes you love her as a character? Like, why do you connect to her so much? Or anyone?
Yeah, well, I feel like Valerie is so complex. Like I said, she's fleshed out so well. And there's a very surface level reading you could do of Valerie Cherish where it's that she's a control freak obsessed with her image, but that's just not true. Like, she has so much more to her, and you can tell that like she wants to do what is right for her career, for her family, for the people working with her. Like, she really cares, and all of these things that she does, the way that she expresses caring is so clumsy and transparent that she is like, she's trying to control the situation to create the best outcome for everybody. And I think that that's really admirable and hilarious.
Yeah, I think like if season 3 did anything, it made Valerie in charge. It showed us that Valerie always knew what she was doing. She maybe didn't get reality, but she knew how to make good TV. And she knew the sitcom world, but nobody ever gave her credit. And nobody was willing to trust her instincts. And then in season 2, she was a great actress. And that's what I love most about Valerie, which is, to your point, is like, she may not have always gone about it the right way, but she was always earnest and really good at it.
Yeah.
Like, she always wanted to do well.
Yeah.
That's why Valerie getting her Emmy actually meant more to me than some real Emmy wins.
It meant more to me than every Emmy.
No, literally.
I can't name an Emmy win that meant more to me than Valerie Cherish.
You know what would mean more to me is when Lisa Kudrow finally gets an Emmy.
Clock it.
Yeah, for playing Valerie Cherish.
I know, because Lisa Kudrow has never been nominated as Valerie Cherish.
No, she's been nominated.
Oh, she was nominated for season 2?
Yeah.
She didn't win it.
And I think she was nominated for season 1 as well, but she didn't win.
Oh, really?
I think.
Oh,
but season 2 for sure, because I remember she lost against Julia Louis-Dreyfus's like 15th win, which deserved, earned,
I know.
incredible, historic.
But sometimes you got to pass
never
the
been
torch.
done before. What shit on it, whatever. But I would have liked one of those Emmys to have gone to Lisa. I think it's so deserved.
Yeah. Maybe Julia could just send her.
Yeah, we could just
the
make
Emmy?
her one. Okay. It says it on my card, and I think it's a really interesting point. Is Valerie delusional?
No.
Because I think she's aspirational.
She's not delusional. This is the thing. Like, this is what I'm saying.
She's
like,
driven.
I think that she actually has a way better grasp on reality than anybody gives her credit for, both in her life and viewers of The Comeback.
Yeah.
Like, both like the meta and like the real world. Because what we see is that she has this inflated sense of
Self.
what I'm It meant. Like, what the cultural impact of I'm
4
It.
seasons of a sitcom.
90 episodes.
Yeah, to her was, it came from the people.
Yeah, and she got a People's Choice Award, which is
Matters
the
the
most
most.
important award because it's from the people. And I feel like all of that you could watch objectively, but you get these moments. You get these moments of clarity where you like see through the facade, which she very much does have a facade. Like, Valerie wears a mask in public.
Yeah.
And sometimes that mask falls and you see that she knows, like, I'm doing this because I have to do this. Like, I wasn't that relevant then, and I'm not that relevant now, and I need to figure out like how to keep climbing that ladder. And it's not just for like selfish reasons. I think that's what makes Valerie so interesting, is like there are very nuanced motivations for her as a character. But I think delusional is like the worst surface level read of Valerie Cherish.
Yeah, I don't think she's delusional at all, but I'll pick up on a word that you said, which is, I think you implied she's not selfish, but I think she is selfish. And I think that's a good thing. I think oftentimes we look at a woman like that, or anybody who is driven and wants to succeed. And yeah, let's say it. Valerie wants to be famous. Valerie wants to be on TV. She wants to be on the cover of Yoga Now, or whatever that magazine was called. Okay, been practicing all week. It's hard.
Yeah.
She wants it, and that's fine. But everyone around her is almost, they are scared of her want. Like Mark never dims her shine because Mark loves her so much, and I love that. But Mark is oftentimes like, you have to make a choice. And Val was always like, why do I have to make a choice? Why can't I do this and you're along for the ride as well? Because in season 2, in that fight, she says, how many work dinners do I have to sit at and pretend to be interested in insurance, or whatever the joke is?
I put your golf trophy up. I showed everybody, look at this trophy Mark won.
I'm going to start crying. But that's the thing. Like, it's like Miranda Priestley. Like, is she mean or is she good at her job? Is Val delusional, or does she want it? And let her have it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm sweating.
Wow, you got really worked up.
I look at Val as somebody who like really loves what they do. And I think that's so admirable. And I think especially for a woman of a certain age, it can get poo-pooed on. And I think that's the point of the comeback, which is like, be quiet and sit in the corner. You had your fame. Don't do it anymore. And she's like, no, actually, this is my comeback.
This is my comeback. Valerie is such a rich character, but she lives in such a rich world full of amazing, dynamic characters that
Are
play
beside her.
her sidekicks in many different ways. I want to touch down on some of them. We have cursorily, but Mickey. Let's talk about Mickey.
Yeah.
Mickey is the heart and soul of the comeback, seasons 1 and 2.
He is. I think, you got to get me a gay, and she got her a gay, and she got a great gay.
She did.
Yeah. No one loves her more than Mickey loves her.
Yeah.
And Mickey looks at her like she's like the biggest star on earth.
And you get the impression, well, so often, I guess coming back to this point about her being selfish, so often she does sort of like, I think, take Mickey for granted.
Totally.
And like pass him aside. But then she finds out that he's sick in season 2, and she starts to really worry. Remember at the improv when she's a minor,
All of a sudden.
and she can't stop saying cancer because she just found out that Mickey has cancer, and they're like, cancer doesn't play well in improv.
Okay, ask what the horoscope is. Oh, you're a Cancer. Are you a Cancer?
And then you have that great scene where she's like, we have to go to Mickey's house because he didn't show up. And
Because she thought he died.
yeah, he was actually just having a hookup.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the end of season 2. So incredible.
The end of season 2, I think we would be remiss if we didn't at least talk about the change in, what's the phrasing? POV. Mm-hmm. For those who don't know, and if you've been watching long enough, God bless you.
You know.
For season 1 and 2, they film it as a reality show. And for season 2, the final scene, the last 10 minutes or so, they change the world of the comeback where there are no reality cameras anymore. We now exist in Val's reality, but it's shot cinematically.
Because she consciously ditches the cameras.
Because she finally chooses her real life over the cameras. It is like, it's poetic.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. So Val leaves the Emmys. She's in her beautiful dress. She is caught in the rain. She's looking for a limo. All of this is happening while her category is being called. Her name is being called eventually, and they find out that she wins, but she's not there. The thing Val wants the most is to win an Emmy, but the thing she has to do, that she chooses to do, is to be by Mickey's side.
And she still wins the Emmy.
And Mickey says, Val, red, your hair. It's a mess. And she laughs and she like has a moment with him, and it still keeps the comedy with it. But the change in camera is I'll never forget watching
It's
that live.
jarring.
It's jarring.
It's
And I was
jarring.
like, what are we doing? Is this going to be good? And it's the best thing.
Yeah.
That's why I think season 3, at least the way it looks, doesn't work for me because the ending of season 2 is so poignant that it almost takes away the poignancy of that finale.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
I could see that.
Because it ends like so perfectly.
What about Juna?
I don't think you're just giving me tangents to go on. I don't think Malin Ackerman gets enough credit.
No, she doesn't. Here's somebody who should get an Emmy.
Yeah. The scene in season 3, that's my favorite scene. And it's also shot like a Transformers movie, but like, I think it's so incredible is when Juna always comes back in season 2 and 3 at the right time when Val needs that person the most.
And Juna in season 1 is an up and comer, right? Like Juna is the new talent on Room and Board, where Valerie Cherish is the legacy talent.
Yeah.
And then by season 2, Juna has become a legitimate celebrity.
Yeah.
Like a real celebrity.
Baby girl.
Baby girl.
Baby girl.
And then by season 3, she's thriving.
She's thriving. Juna's always filming like the most insane movie.
Yeah.
She's always filming like Transformers 5.
Juna's making $50 million a movie.
She's in Jumanji 5 and she loves it. She's like so happy. And Val's always like peddling some dog and pony show on the side.
Yeah.
And Juna always sees her. And I think what's so beautiful about the scene in season 3, particularly for me, is that she looks up to her still. Like she always from season 1 saw Val. Val to her was Julia Roberts. Like that was the biggest star.
Yeah.
And the way I think season 1 portrays it as Val jealous of Juna.
Yeah.
And maybe slightly at the beginning, but then that becomes baby girl. And she takes her under her wing and she's like, no, I'm protecting her from what that world is.
Yeah.
And it's so full circle by season 3. And Malin, I think, does not get enough credit for like
Yeah.
just really going toe to toe with Lisa Kudrow, which I think is like one of the hardest things you could do as an actor. And she gives her heart in those performances.
Yeah, as much as I say that Valerie Cherish is a real person that walks among us
She's
in this
also
world,
insane.
Juna is a real person.
Juna's actually a real person, and Val is like, Val always touches down when she's with Juna, when she's with Mickey, and when she's with Mark. She always is able to get back into reality with those people as her anchors.
Yeah. No, I mean like Juna is a real person to me.
Oh,
Like Val is a real person to me.
Juna's real to you?
Juna is
See, I
real.
only see Malin.
I actually don't see Mal. Like when it's like,
God.
what is he? Hunting Wives? I'm like, oh, that's the Juna.
Yeah.
That's the new Juna vehicle.
Juna would do Hunting Wives.
She would
Val would do
100% do
Hunting Wives.
Hunting Wives.
Val and Hunting Wives season 2. And she's like, I'm not going to do it.
What about Mark?
I didn't love Mark's story in season 3. What was going on there was not my business.
Finance bros?
I didn't get that. But in season 2, he is so perfect.
Yeah.
He is exactly what we need Val to be up against, which is her real life. Her marriage is crumbling, but she wants an Emmy. And what are they supposed to do? Right?
Yeah.
She's got to make beef rollatini. But she's on
In the desert.
Stop calling me to set.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Mark, and I think, he's a very important character for her to have. And I was watching an interview recently with Michael Patrick King and Val. What is Val?
See?
With Lisa Kudrow.
Yeah.
And Lisa was saying how, I think Michael or Lisa was saying how they wanted Mark to hate her. And Lisa was like, no, I don't want that at all. I want him to be hot and for him to be in love with her. And I've always loved that aspect, even without knowing that, because I always read it as like, he's obsessed with her.
Yeah.
But he's frustrated with her, as anybody would be married to her.
Yeah. I think it's amazing that her relationship with Mark has such a great arc over the 3 seasons, because he could just be the husband who's like annoyed or whatever. But I do feel like even in season 3, like I think I'm higher on Mark in season 3 than you are. But
His back tattoo?
Loved the back tattoo. I loved him going to Burning Man, and I loved him coming back from Burning Man when he realized that Valerie needed him.
Yeah.
Right? Like there was a crisis. She was the secret was out. The show was written by AI, and it was all her fault. And he came back to her. Like, granted, he had a new tattoo about how he wanted to be anywhere but here. But he came back, And I love that about Mark.
You reminded me of one of my favorite jokes from season 3, which if you would just clip me saying that several times together, it seems I loved it. But it's when Juna is running after Val, but Val thinks it's a writer. And she's like, it's a writer.
Yes, yeah.
One of them got loose.
One of them got loose.
That really made me bark.
Yeah.
What, at the end of the day, is the comeback's legacy? What will it be remembered for? What is it remembered for?
I think it is always evolving because more and more people find this show. Like I said, I think a lot of people just don't know it exists. It is not as mainstream as we think it is.
They can't see it.
They can't see it.
It's a ghost.
Like we need to get it mainstream. We need to take this thing. We need to take the show on the road.
It starts today.
So people find it
Here.
starts now. And like if you haven't seen the comeback, you have to go watch it immediately because it's appointment television. And I think that its impact on television, like we talked about with influences on The Office and Parks and Rec and Modern Family, like you can feel the reverberations of the comeback throughout sort of like television. And I don't know that people fully recognize that, but I think in time that is coming. Like I think slowly but surely with every year that passes, more and more people figure out what the comeback's impact is.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll only continue to widen its legacy. But I think, and we saw it with season 3 and the promotion of it, so many articles and think pieces were published on it being like why this is a great show and one of the greatest shows and why Lisa is so good. So as I said earlier, I think it's always just going to be a show for like, if you know, you know, and I never want it to be more. I actually don't need anybody else to watch it because if you don't get it,
the thing is,
like,
everybody gets it. The thing is, once somebody watches it, they get it.
I know, but then you decide if you like it or not because I don't think it's uncomfortable, but I can see it at how it's deterring.
Right.
Where it's like, I don't want to see that. Like it's hard to watch for some people. For me, it's a bomb. For you, it's like a comfort. But I think its legacy is here. Like it's one of our great shows.
So what do you think Lisa's chances are of securing the Emmy?
Her chances of securing the Emmy are the same chances of me regrowing hair. Like I don't see it in my near future, but I aspire for it and I hope for it. I think
let's take the Emmys to Turkey. That's what I say.
I think Jean Smart is gonna Julia Louis-Dreyfus with this, and I think it's earned and God bless and so great. Could we give one?
Could we get a tie?
I love a tie. I would, and that's so Valerie.
That's so
Valerie from
Imagine
Valerie
her like sharing the stage on the Emmys.
I mean, I want it for her. I think it's so deserved. Like she has an Emmy for Friends, and of course that's deserved as well. But her work, Lisa Kudrow's work as Valerie Cherish on The Comeback is one of the most important things in my life.
The thing is, I feel like with the Emmy chances, what's working for Lisa Kudrow is that The Comeback is
A show about
darling of the industry. Like the industry loves The Comeback, and they have made it very clear that this is the end of The Comeback. And so like maybe now's the time.
Yeah, their press tour is reminding me of Lea Michelle's Tony press tour where she was trying to get a Tony. And spoiler alert, she didn't get a nomination for Chess, but she repeated the same thing 100 times, which was, have I said this on this podcast before? This is turning into like Trixie and Katja. She said, I'm in the same theater I was 30 years ago where I started my Broadway debut in Les Mis, and I'm back here with Chess. But it was her, there could be 99, there could be a million people in a room, whatever that thing is. She said it 100 times. So with like The Comeback, the thing was like, 20 years ago we did season 1. Then we did season 2, 9 years after that. And then we did season 3, but this is the end. This is the end. And they're driving that point home. Right. Will it reward itself? I don't know.
Yeah.
Just given the hacks. If hacks wasn't a thing, I think she could.
Right.
There's enough support there. But let's do a tie.
Emmy or no Emmy, I think that
She won an Emmy
ultimately
in my heart.
she won an Emmy in my heart.
Yeah.
And also I think that it showed us that Lisa Kudrow is like a generational talent in comedy. And I think that had we not had the comeback, and yes, Lisa Kudrow has done many great things outside of Friends, but I think that the comeback cements her as sort of like more than Phoebe.
I think it's the greatest thing she's ever done.
Yeah,
and I
agreed.
think she knows that as well. And I think Lisa Kudrow as Valerie Cherish is one of the greatest performances ever committed to television. I think it's the greatest thing I've ever seen. I'm only speaking in bold and italicized font, but I mean it. Like, it's the greatest performance ever. I think it's so... And even with that said, she'll never get enough flowers for it.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, we got it. That's it. You
That's
know?
it.
This was our comeback.
Can we get more excitement?
Well, I got it.
You can't use that. Jane.
Jane.
NG.
NG. I think that's it. I think this was our ode to Lisa Kudrow and the comeback. Is there any final thoughts?
No, I'm just happy to be here.
Happy to be here.
Happy to be talking about the comeback. Happy for if one person discovers the comeback
Or
because
Mrs.
of
Hat.
us, or Mrs. Hat, or Seeing Red, or Room and Board, or I'm It,
Or they buy Cherish Your Hair.
or How's
Or
That?
Cherish the Time. I know I
Cherish the
did.
time. Then we've won.
I cherish the time today with you, Sean.
I always cherish our time together.
Me too. That's it.
That's it. Here we go now. And then the like reggae.
It is the craziest song in the world. Britney's Soda Pop. We can sing for you. We just did a little bit. No.
No.